Hello, hello. Welcome. So we have again one of my clients and friends, Stella Edwards, author Stella Edwards, and we're going to be discussing today some of the aspects of her book entitled at this time, The Book of Lights. I'm excited for her to tour us through some really amazing and intuitively discovered ideas in context to seasons, the seasons of alchemy, that we've compared to the seasons of the body and seasons of entrepreneurship, as well as just discovering how to maximize and appreciate magic. Hello, Stella. Good to see you
Hi,
today. Hi.
great to be back here with you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
I've been writing books my whole life, but I've never delivered the books to the reader, which was so interesting to me because I had all of these pages and scribbler books with all sorts of, I think, valuable insight and wisdom for people. But no way was I passing it over to where it needed to go. And then through a conversation with you, actually through discovering what programs you offer, you use the word blockages. And I thought, maybe I have a blockage because surely it can't be that difficult to type this up, send it where it needs to go, and let it be read. But I did have blockages. I didn't realize that writing a book, well, this type of book, maybe it's all types, um, becomes such an emotional journey. It's deep, and you really have to know oneself. You need to know yourself if you're writing a book that's held within a vision of helping people and to spread to people and of all different types of people to help make a difference in joy and happiness. You've got to have yourself where you need to be, or you can't write, or you can't send it anywhere. It's not going anywhere because it's stuck. It's a lot of stuff to work through, like the emotional depth, um, keeping yourself like physically, you have to have yourself physically well. And as you've been talking about, take some rest, take a breather, rejuvenate. All of those things are part of writing. I didn't know that. I thought writing was okay, sit down, get your focus, do your titles, get to it. But oh no, no, it lacks preparedness if one hasn't taken a look at who am I, where am I in my life. And knowing what I've discovered too is that if you're writing a book and it's a book that has depth or meaning, possible meaning for the lives of other people in any sort of way, then yeah, you need to know yourself. You need to be in a healthy place mentally, emotionally, physically, and know when to take your breaks and know when to celebrate what you've written and say, that's pretty good. But at the same time, know that it's a valuable process. It's serious business. That's the term I wrote down. Writing a book is serious business.
Yes.
And it is like it's really serious business. It's like doing a dissertation or something of that nature. It's not just getting some pages together and giving it a title. Like it's serious. It's serious commitment. Um, it's I welcome the influence and the leadership in my situation through you because I've had a good leader. And even before knowing this, you were saying, well, we need to unpack some things, see where you are with some things in terms of me as a person. Initially, I thought, what does that have to do with writing? But then I realized that's why I hadn't released my books in the past. I had stuff that needed to be done. Now I get it. Now I got it. So step by step. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so grateful that you're able to articulate that also. Thank you for that
Mm-hmm.
beautiful presentation. That reminds me, Stella, of
Mm-hmm.
the seasons of alchemy that I feel like a lot of your readers and your community can maybe get in touch with. These seasons of a woman, but also seasons of an entrepreneur and seasons of the
Mm-hmm.
work. How these ebbs and flows deserve
Yes.
these like fall and winter, spring and summer awakenings, the revitalizations of interest.
That's so true. It's so there are so many seasons interwoven.
Yeah.
And to get to one, you have to go through it's kind of like going through it all, going through. Let's get through spring and then through winter, or through summer and then fall and then spring. See what it looks like then when you've traveled through the different seasons and what can be uncovered. That's the most beautiful thing one uncovers, or I'll say for myself, what I have uncovered for myself and within myself. I think it's bringing the book alive. It gives some sort of um, yeah, it gives a life to the book. because it's my life being given into the book. And I think there's something to be said for that. Like I'm certain after having this experience with you that no one is writing a book or doing a podcast or being a life coach or a business person without something about themselves in there. Now, there's lots of people who become successful too and just skim over those things. Um, but I don't know how much pure satisfaction is found there. I don't know. But I do know that the work has to be put in and it has to be about your truth in whatever you're doing. And if the truth is not there, it destabilizes something within me. I'll sit down and say, oh, that's not ringing true to me. So how dare I put that on a piece of paper and suggest this may be helpful or this is a path, a possible path, if I didn't dare travel the path myself, or at least take a close look at it. That's pretty important.
Yeah. I love that, and especially this idea of embodiment. And I love
Yeah,
how it's almost like you're giving your work soul or spirit
yeah,
while you like traverse it through these ebbs and flows of life. That's beautiful.
yeah. It's nice, isn't it? Do you find that nice in your work too? I think
Yeah,
to give your soul onto something, then you've given it your all and your truth. And it has to land somewhere. It has to land within some realm of success if it's pure, or it has to land somewhere right.
it will
It just
resonate
does.
with someone at some place
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah,
Hmm. So off we go, right? To the
off we
races.
go. If we could say, speaking of seasons and
Mhm.
embodiment, in context to the Book of Lights, or just in context to your journey as an author, what season are you in currently?
Spring in my step, spring in the writing. Um, it's kind of like I'm doing a pre-celebration of something.
Love that. Love it.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like to me. I think I'm happy to be finally guided, guided in a direction where I I could see that I probably needed to go there, but sometimes you need a helping hand, and that's that. And someone who's a professional who knows this this whole system. And then it's not so intimidating or overwhelming. It's just okay. Um, this is just okay. This is what it is, and this person knows a lot about it. So seek the help. Seek the apprenticeship program. Seek a program that you know is being led by a good leader. And that's the thing about you. Your soul is into everything you do, and you have many things that you're doing. But it's clear that your soul is in there for each and every one. If you're a soul detector like me, you're going to find that you have it in everything you do.
I love that. You're making me blush.
The leader and collaboration with a good leader, and not just a business mind, because you have a good business mind too, of course. But it's just the creative features of understanding the soul and the process and that like-mindedness of the soul. And I think a similar vision, looking at the world and saying, I want to make a difference. And you're making a wonderful difference. I did in my practice, I know I made a difference because I still have people who thank me. But I also know there's something inside me that says, that was the beginning. Where are you going next? And get to it. So that's a realization in itself, isn't it? I could sit in my office for the next 20 years, but I decided no, that's not what I wanted to do. Soul searching, searching your own soul. Um, Emotional research and emotional release through. That's a place where I'm at. I feel that I've reached that place and I know how to do it more eloquently with more focus. That's important to me too, because emotionally researching oneself, and I've used that term before with you, but then emotionally releasing, it's very important, and um, not spending too much time in the process so that it hinders the movement, but knowing when the refreshment has been gained, and knowing when you can say, oh, okay, that piece is done. So if the piece is done, let it be done, move on, because for sure there'll be other pieces popping up. Hmm. I do know this about myself. Writing a book is serious business. That's what as I thought about our work together, I realized that you take all of this so seriously in terms of being practical and your knowledge and how you share the knowledge. Um, and how you allow people to learn like you do. Like I know you have so much inside your knowingness. I know you have an innate knowing about a lot of things, but you're here sharing what you know. And that's a very beautiful thing to do because a lot of people, I think, could step forward and say, I want to help the world in some way or shape or form as well. But they're not trusting that the person that's leading them is probably trustworthy. So you need a trustworthy leader. That's very important. Knowledgeable, smart, kind, but trustworthiness is very important. I never dreamed I would be sitting up talking about the emotional depth I'm experiencing writing a book. That was the furthest thing from my mind. But you were able to pull something from me that allowed me to say, well, that's what I'm feeling, put a name on it and share it with him and see where it goes. Share it with, I'm sure I'll share it with other people too, in terms of within the book. But that's what you allow. You allow for that. And that's a gift. That's not just being a good businessman or a sharp man. It's about having a beautiful, soft, nourished soul. That's very comforting, just so you know that. I can't be afraid to say, okay, this is a rough day today. Maybe we could reschedule if it's okay with you. Put on a suit of clothes and make myself do it anyway. I'm not doing that. No, no. I'm not buying into that anymore. I'm going to go with the natural flow of what I know is honest to me. And you allow that space.
Thank you for that beautiful compliment. I'm
Hmm.
honored to be seen in your sight. Really, thank you, Stella.
You're welcome.
At this state of emotional release through our work, like I'm kind of understanding like it's all divinely aligned and everything is adding
Yeah.
up.
Mhm.
And like this new state where this refreshment has been gained. Um, can you put words to that refreshment, or how can the viewers gain a sense of refreshment for themselves? I think you mentioned
Okay.
like a sense of peace has been landed and I can move forward.
Mhm. Yes. One of the things I think it's very important in terms of refreshing oneself is your environment or the environment of your mind, or for some people, their physical environment. But I know for me, if there's a clutter, if there's a clutter going on in my mind, I'm thinking, and I think it's urgency to get started or urgency to jump on something and really make it work. And that's a good thing. That's called motivation. But if the brain becomes too cluttered, or if someone's environment is severely cluttered, I think it's hard to refresh. So that's why
Mm.
going out into nature is probably your best bet, or throwing away things of the past. I did like a ritual of throwing out some things from the past on a bonfire a couple of months ago. And it was so beautiful. Paulina and I danced around and said, oh, this is so cool. The sparks, everything, the embers were flying, the moon was out. It was one of the nicest things to do. And I
Yeah.
was wondering why was this still in my house? I don't know, but it's not there anymore. So there's something very refreshing about that. Taking those steps that we all know are there and need to be taken, but sometimes it's a bother to even do it, but it's worth the bother. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's worth the bother of throwing out the old and getting ready. And it's interesting when you do something that you know you need to do,
Hmm.
everything starts to look different. Everything looks brighter. Or you look in the mirror and you see yourself again and you say, oh, okay. Hi, nice to see you again. I don't know where you've been. Refreshing, it's like letting the sun shine on you, or spending time with the moon too. That's pretty refreshing for me. I could sit, we follow the moon. We chase the moon around, which is our little game we play at night. And when I catch it, then I can release something of myself. So both the sun and the moon have this wonderful offering for something. If you just mind to listen or take a look at it and see the magic that's in it, or the beauty that's in it, and the opportunity of, like, this is an opportunity to hang myself to a star and go where I want, let the sun shine on me and refresh me, or sit with the moon and be curious and mysterious and wonder, that's interesting. What was that thought about? So there's all sorts of free things around us we can just take a look at and teach ourselves, or as you say, learn yourself. Yeah. But refreshing is pretty simple. We went dancing in the rain a couple of days ago and it was cold rain, but that can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That I feel that was revolutionary. I mean, revelatory. That entire,
Mhm.
I mean, you really journeyed me through an experience there of
Yeah.
a lot of magic, ritualistic craft practices.
Yeah. I didn't know that, thought I was doing that though.
Yeah, I love that. And this ritualistic release with the bonfire and the dancing and the
Mm.
elements. I mean, it's magical, it's sacred, it's feminine, it's divine. And I think that and that's reminding me of the last session we had where you're bringing back this normative magic to your identity and to your personal culture. I love that.
Yes, it's a good feeling. And when I hear that word divine, every time stops for me
Mm.
when I hear divine. Oh, divine is what a gift, what a beauty, just oh, to bask in the divine. So it's yeah, basking in the divine. Everything is divine. God's put his hand on everything. You know, like that teak candle you have, or the teak wood I have throughout this house. That all came from God's trees, and you know, everything goes back to the divine. And it's nice to be kind of nice to be friends with the divine, is what I'm thinking.
And return that title to your, I guess, your personal culture. And you seem to be
Yes.
sharing it with the viewers, with the readers, with your daughter, and with the future of yourself.
Mm. Yes. It's a great it's a great moment, realization, and moments of realization. I'm starting to wonder if everyone needs to go write a book and you know write a book and realize a lot of realizations. That's
Realize a
what's
lot.
coming. Yeah, come to my forefront. We all need to sit around in book circles and I'll write books.
That's true. Do you
Yeah.
feel that so if we can land this interview, we're kind of been talking about well, we started with the seasons of alchemy,
Yes.
comparing it to the seasons of a woman and the seasons of entrepreneurship. And then you took us towards embodiment and currently embodying emotional release and emotional research into refreshment through our work has led us to a space of ritualistic magic and ritualistic release, all of which is essentially like your identity returning and, as you said, your happiness flowing back to you. My last
Yes.
question, do you feel that this return to magic is a thing that is maybe stolen from many women, or let's
I
say
do.
encouraged to be navigated away from?
Mhm. I sure do. I do because I can see it. I see it all around me, and I can tell which women have been blessed to be able to hold on to it for some reason, and which are in not really a survival mode, but um, are not given the space to continue to experience their magic. And there's so many roles, I suppose, roles or expectations or self expectations. For whom? For whom? And I look around at women and I think, let's talk. Like let's have a talk about what's in our souls. What were our dreams? What's the magic like for you? What was your magic like before you had to tuck it away? Because this is what mine looked like, and it's still kind of wild. And um, because somehow along the line, I've managed to hold on to it even before having my daughter. I still held on to pieces, but that's because I did it mostly in the quiet or in a prayerful state. And then I'd take a risk and say something to some friends, and they would laugh and say, "That's kind of weird." And I would say, "Yeah, it's weirdly magical." That was my phrase. And so, women, there needs to be a space for women to realize that magic is allowed, is permissible, and it's beautiful, and it fits us. It fits us as women. It fits men too. It fits men as well. But what's wrong with loving magic or experiencing magic or choosing magic? What's the crime? It's not causing anything bad onto the earth. In fact, it's somehow it seeps out. It seeps out to others, even strangers. You can walk into a store and you're feeling there's a spring in my walk, or there's joy in my mind, or there's magic in my thought. Then that person is going to pick up on it. Someone picks up on something. They may not know what it is. Once you walk on past them, they're going to know it suddenly became absent. Suddenly it walked away with that person or with that thing that just passed by me. Who was that? What was that? But it lands on people and places. How is it that we can go to a forest and sit and look at a little tiny bird and say, "Oh, that bird is so beautiful," and watch the bird pick up a little something, have a snack, fly up to a tree? And how is it that we can look at little kittens or baby goats? And all of that's magic. Like, I think, no, I'm not a child at playing with kittens, but I like seeing kittens. So I take them up and I do play with them. So for all women who probably feel locked away from a space to explore and experience magic, I welcome you to give it a try. I really do, because I think it would be good for everyone. And share it with people who you feel will understand it. That's probably a safety piece. But don't
Amazing.
miss out on it.
Don't miss out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of
don't
like
miss.
re-inviting in spirit or the imagination. That's the
Yeah,
self-permission.
yeah,
Yeah.
so true.
Keeps you young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right. And that's a good thing.
definitely. Keeps the moment ripe and fertile.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel light as a feather.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, oh, it's true. I feel blessed. Yeah, you're a blessing.
Thank you, Stella. Well, I just very humble. Thank you very much.
I read somewhere recently, Hero, that people, some very, very, very wealthy people, are not humble because they don't care enough about what's going on around them. So they just say, "Oh yeah, that's an idea I have. That's great. I have no emotional attachment to it. I just want to do it." And that's one way of doing it. But once again, I fear dissatisfaction in that approach. I really do. I fear it for people. But if you go the longer way and do what needs to be done from the soul, it may take longer, it may take more work,